Hey guys, thank you for coming to my channel. In this video, you'll be learning about the difference between hyphens, en dashes, and em dashes. So for starters, what is a hyphen? Hyphens are the smallest of all the dashes. Hyphens are underneath the number 1 on your phone's keypad. Hyphens are used to create compound words like mother-in-law, merry-go-round, hand-picked, sugarcoat, know-it-all, free-spirited, and so on. Also, compound words are more complex, and I have a whole video on compound words. I think it's titled, What are Compound Words? So if you want to learn more about compound words, feel free to check out that video. Hyphens being used in sentences. So example 1 says, today I'm hanging out with my free-spirited friend. As you can see, free-spirited is a compound word, and we used a hyphen. Example 2 says, as a kid, I liked riding on the merry-go-round. As you can see, merry-go-round is a compound word, so we used hyphens. And example 3 says, my mother-in-law is my best friend. As you can see, mother-in-law is a compound word, and that's why we used hyphens. Hyphens are also used to separate numbers and phone numbers and social security numbers and letters and names. So example 1 says my phone number is 655-232-4211. Example 2 says my social security number is 888-88-8888. So as you can see, we used hyphens in between the numbers. Example 3 says my name is spelled N-I-Y-A-H. So as you can see, a hyphen is used in between each letter. Do not use hyphens after adverbs that end in ly. So to name a couple of examples, we have happily walked, loudly yelled, and quietly spoke. You would not use hyphens in these cases. Next, we have en dashes. So what is an en dash? En dashes are longer than hyphens but shorter than em dashes. En dashes are typed by holding down the hyphen key on your phone's keyboard. You have to select the en dash. En dashes are used to indicate ranges with dates, numbers, and times. En dashes are used to connect two related words or to show conflict or contrast between two things. En dash being used to indicate ranges. Example 1 says the event will take place on February 5th through 9th. So that means the event will take place on February 5th, February 6th, February 7th, February 8th, and February 9th. Example 2 says for homework, please read chapters 10 through 15. That means that chapter 10 should be read, as well as chapter 11, chapter 12, chapter 13, chapter 14, and chapter 15. Example 3 says my office hours are 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that means my office will be open from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., from 11 a.m. to noon, from noon to 1 p.m., and from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So all of the hours in between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Next, we have the en dash being used to connect two related words or to show conflict or contrast between two things. So the first example says Russian en dash American war. This shows conflict. The second example says Texas en dash Seattle flight, and this shows two related things, Texas and Seattle. And the third example says parent en dash teacher conference, and this shows contrast between two things. So what is an em dash? An em dash is the largest of the three dashes. Em dashes are formed by typing two hyphens in a row or by holding the hyphen key on your phone's keypad and selecting the em dash. Em dashes are used to indicate breaks in sentences and thoughts. They're also used to elaborate on or clarify something. They can take the place of commas, parentheses, and colons. Em dashes being used to indicate breaks in sentences or thoughts. So example 1 says my birthday is in 2. Ouch, a spider just bit me. So as you can see, I was talking about how my birthday is in 2 days, but then that thought was interrupted because I said ouch because a spider bit me. And that's why the M dash was used, because the thought was interrupted. Example 2 says, I'd like to order a... Wait, do you guys sell shakes here? So as you can see in example 2, one thought was interrupted by another thought. Example 3 says, I want to buy some pink Crocs. Actually, I want some Birkenstocks. So as you can see in this example, one thought was interrupted by the other. Next, we have M dashes being used to elaborate or clarify. So example 1 says, I have one simple request. Please don't touch my hair. So as you can see in this example, I elaborated on my request. I didn't just say I have one simple request. I let the readers know what my request was, which was please don't touch my hair. Example 2 says, I was born in Texas, Houston to be exact. So as you can see, I elaborated on where I was born at. I didn't just say I was born in Texas. I told you exactly what city in Texas I was born in. Example 3 says, I like reading, mainly fantasy books though. So as you can see in example 3, I'm not just saying I like reading, I'm telling you exactly what type of books I like reading. M dashes can take the place of commas, parentheses, and colons. Commas are commonly used for short pauses or to separate ideas. So example 1 with commas says, my friend, comma, who is a professional basketball player, comma, has a game tomorrow. So let's take that same example and use M dashes instead of commas. My friend, M dash, who is a professional basketball player, M dash, has a game tomorrow. So as you can see, the M dashes are being used to indicate breaks or pauses in between thoughts. Next, we have the M dash being used to take the place of parentheses. Parentheses are commonly used for extra or irrelevant info. So example 1 with parentheses says, I like eating candy, sour candy to be exact. So if we take that same example and use an M dash instead, it would say, I like eating candy, M dash, sour candy to be exact. So not only are we using the M dash for irrelevant information, but it also can be used to elaborate. So saying sour candy to be exact is elaborating on what kind of candy I like, but it's also including irrelevant information. Next, we have the M dash being used to take the place of a colon. Colons are commonly used to introduce a list of things. Example 1 with a colon says, I want 3 things, colon, a book, a car, and a new phone. So if we take that same example and use an M dash instead of a colon, it would say, I want 3 things, M dash, a book, a car, and a new phone. So as you can see, the M dash was used to introduce a list of things, but it was also used to elaborate. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video informative. If you did find this video informative, please feel free to like, comment, or subscribe, or all of the above, and I'll see you next time. Bye.